What do you think of when you think wedding? Do you think a white dress, a big church, a pretty outdoor reception? Well, these are all very American ideas of weddings. In India, weddings have a very different appearance. The event is exciting for both Americans and Indians. I'm sure that we've all been to a handful of weddings, but these have all been mostly American weddings. As a partial multicultural studies major, I'm excited about surveying the differences between American weddings and weddings from other cultures. I will explain today the way that Indian weddings differ from American weddings and the way that the couple comes together, the way that the bride is prepared, and the overall differences in the ceremonies. Since the first step in having a wedding is bringing the couple together, I will first talk about arranged marriages. The majority of Indian marriages are arranged marriages. These can be arranged by matchmakers, parents, family, friends, or religious leaders. The use of horoscopes is often employed to check the compatibility of the couple. Once the couple is decided, there is an engagement ceremony to solidify the decision, and a restricted courtship occurs where there is very restricted meetings and no extensive interactions outside of before the wedding. Some of the Indian weddings, though, are love-based. It took thousands of years for Indians to get there, and these weddings are still restricted in urban and semi-urban areas. In The Family and Women in India, Haraska highlights a few reasons why arranged marriages are beneficial. The second of these is that it gives the parents control over the family members. Now that you know how the couple is brought together, I will explain how the bride is prepared for the wedding rituals. Similar to American weddings, the bride has extensive preparations. The first preparation is to choose the dress. There are two types of dress. The first is a sari, which is a long dress that has slits up the side and pants underneath, and this can be as simple or as elaborate as the bride wants. The second is a lehenga, which has a small bodice and a long flowing skirt with the midriff showing. They prefer dark colors for evenings and gold or copper for daytime weddings, and often use skin color to choose the color of the garment. Much like American prom, the bride must find matching accessories and jewelry to go with her dress, but since the dress isn't plain white like in American weddings, it's a much more difficult process. The main piece of jewelry that the bride wears is the mangtika. It's a headpiece that goes around the crown of the head and down the front through the part. This is much like the American bridal veil. In their essay, The Indian Wedding Traditions, Gulapali and Sagi write that India defines diversity. This diversity is seen in every realm of Indian life, starting from food and clothing to customs and traditions, and is reflected in Indian marriages as well. Now that we've seen how the bride is prepared, we will see how the actual wedding is carried out. There are a vast number of wedding traditions held by Hindu Indians. The pre-wedding rituals last up to 1 week. Golapan states that the Hindu marriage ceremony is the 13th among 16 samskaras, or rites of passage, that the Hindu observes in his lifetime. Tilak is the first ritual where the groom is anointed on his head to bless the wedding. The Mehendi ceremony is where the bride is adorned with henna tattoos on her hands and feet. The wedding ceremony is where the bride is officially handed over to the groom. This is preceded by a procession of the groom to the wedding location. This is called the Baraat. They then proceed with the religious rituals to confirm the marriage. After the wedding, Hindu Indians have a sad ceremony where the bride departs with her husband. This symbolizes the breaking off from her blood relatives and joining her husband's family. Christian Indians have a reception held by the groom's family where the couple is presented with money and gifts, much like an American wedding shower or wedding reception. Although there are many more intricacies of Indian weddings, I think I've given you a good look at how vastly different Indian weddings are from American weddings. I hope that you've learned a lot about Indian culture through this. Isn't it interesting how everything about Indian weddings is different, from the way the couples get together to the way the bride is prepared, and all the way to the actual wedding ceremonies. It's important to know about other cultures and their traditions, and not just American traditions. I hope this encourages you to find out more about Indian culture